Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is Craig DeLuz with the Firearms Policy Coalition on this Giving Tuesday. Now, for those of you who have not been paying attention, this is where Facebook has committed to match donations made via Facebook to nonprofit organizations like the Firearms Policy Foundation and the California Gun Rights Foundation. Today, they're matching those contributions. So we wanted to talk with you guys about the work that these organizations are doing so that you can have an idea where your donation, where your investment is actually going. And to kind of wrap things up for the day, I wanted to bring on Firearm Policy Coalition's Director of Legal Strategy, Mr. Adam Kraut, to really kind of talk, just give you kind of a big picture of the work that we're doing. And how you guys and why it's important that you guys support our work. So, Mr. Kraut, how are things going?
Good. How are you?
I am doing just dandy, just dandy. It is the end of the day, and I'm just excited because so many people have been supporting the work that we're doing, supporting the work that you're
Well,
doing.
well, it's a whole team of us. It is a team effort. So we're also very excited that people are excited about the work we're doing.
So, give me an idea, just kind of a 30,000 foot view. Why is it so important, in particular, that people support legal efforts like the work that the California Gun Rights Foundation and the Firearms Policy Foundation are doing?
Sure. So really, when we're talking about laws and the advancement of rights or preserving rights and trying to prevent them from being eroded away, there's two main ways that's done. One is through the election of officials who pass new laws or theoretically repeal bad ones, and then there's the court system. And the court system is there to keep the legislature in check. So when they don't do what they're supposed to do, it's up to a bunch of lawyers to go into court and say, hey, this thing is unconstitutional. It violates people's rights. And that's a lot of what we're doing.
Yeah, and it's funny. And I look at in places like in California, we have a legislature here in California that has basically decided that the Constitution doesn't matter as long as PR is on our side. As long as the media is on their side, then as long as they're the majority, they feel like they don't have to necessarily follow the law. So it's even more important that we have these sorts of avenues to be able to hold them in check.
It's interesting that you bring that up. Something I had given some thought to actually a little earlier today. And I think it's troubling that a lot of our elected officials seemingly have either never read the Constitution, never talked about it, or been educated on it. So they're doing things that they believe they have the power to do, but the Constitution specifically says no. And the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. It's the very tippy top. So unfortunately, I think we're going to see more and more legislatures around the country push the boundaries on things, and it's going to require more litigation and the courts to come back and say, yeah, can't do it. Sorry.
Well, one of the things I find that gets me is literally how they just flat out ignore it. But I also believe, and this is just my personal belief, that one of the things they're doing is they're literally opening the door and making it easier for us to be able to litigate some of these things because what they're doing and or how they're doing it is in fact so outrageous and unconstitutional.
In some ways, yes. Unfortunately, it also opens the door to more and more bodies around the country doing the same thing, stuff that they shouldn't be doing. And there's a lot of instances where, courts do come back and say, hey, you can't do that. That is unconstitutional. And then they go and try it again. They just tweak it a little bit. And, we're back to square one. And unfortunately, in some instances, there aren't provisions that allow groups like FPF to recover attorneys' fees for time expended in these matters. So, it becomes a game as to are the people who are members of organizations like FPF, willing to keep putting up money.
And see, that's the crazy thing is literally we have to use our money. We have to donate money to organizations in order to do what, quite frankly, the government is supposed to be doing, which is protecting our fundamental rights. And literally, they're using our own tax dollars against us.
Right. But it's a good thing it's Giving Tuesday, because now we can use Facebook's money against them.
Egg, bam. That's it exactly. Because folks, and this is the hardest part, folks. You got to understand this stuff doesn't happen for free. It litigating. What would you say it costs to litigate a case if it were going, say, from the just at the federal level, from the district court all the way up to the Supreme Court? How much would you say it costs to litigate a case?
All the way to the Supreme Court, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. A district court alone, without any experts, you could be easily in the $30,000-$40,000 range with time expended, and that's without getting expert reports. And experts are not cheap. And then there's the whole, court of appeal stage, which is more money being expended. And depending upon how that goes, if you win at the district court, you may be on the hook for the appeal anyway if the government decides to appeal it. And if you don't win and you appeal it, it gets expensive quick. There's a lot of time expended in these matters. There's a lot of resources used, and even when you're working with attorneys who are willing to cut their rates and do things to help out a nonprofit like FPF, it certainly still is a very expensive endeavor.
And so that's the reason why it's even more important that during this time of giving, when you guys have an opportunity to not just, when you're thinking about being generous and giving, and then you've also got, it's the end of the year, and it's a good time to make sure you increase those tax deductions. But also, finally, you have an opportunity to get get Facebook to actually help to kick in order to help fight for those rights. It's important that we take advantage of it, right?
Absolutely. I can't imagine a better person to be funded by than Facebook with all the stuff they're doing to quash speech and things like that.
Exactly. So, folks, here's the deal. It's real simple. If you're watching this video on Facebook, all you got to do is click the donate button and encourage your friends to do the same. If you're watching this on YouTube, well, you need to follow the link in the description of this video. It'll take you to a place where you can click the donate button and you can make a donation and encourage your friends to do the same. It is that simple. Everyone, thank you so much. Thank you guys, all you guys who watched all of the videos today. Everyone you guys now have a really good idea of the work that organizations like the Firearms Policy Foundation and the California Gun Rights Foundation are doing. We appreciate your support, and we thank you, and we hope that you will continue to be a part of the fight for our civil rights. Remember, got to use them, or we're going to lose them. You guys take care.
If you like our videos, follow, subscribe, like, and share.